We're on our way now to ICU. We have some patients that are in intensive care and need support, they and their families.
So we tell you what happens when you get shot in the chest and how you get a bag, how you become paralyzed, what happens when you actually make bad choices and you end up paralyzed and you can't ever walk again. And so we do this to help kids make better choices.
Welcome to Sinai-Grace. My name is Doris Montgomery, and I'm the staff chaplain here. And we'll be going and visiting some patients today that we haven't seen. We're going to visit some who have been assaulted and a person who's been stabbed. And so just enjoy the ride as we walk through.
I'm Judy Schluter. I'm manager of spiritual care services here at Sinai-Grace Hospital. I have been here for 33 years and started being a chaplain back in 1981. This evening I'm in the trauma area. There will probably be some traumas and some people to see here. I have other patients that requested a visit.
What is a chaplain? I am asked that often. I go into rooms and some patients would ask me, well, what is a chaplain? A chaplain is a minister or pastor. I call it a hospital pastor, one who cares for the members while they're in the church. We show them love.
Well, this evening we've just visited a patient and family. The family members often are very receptive and in need of support, as well as the patients. And when they come here to visit patients, that's important to the patients as well. Family members go through a lot when they have a loved one who's sick or suffering or struggling, and they too need prayers. So when they come here to the doors of the hospital and come to visit, chaplains can be there for them too. We'll be going from here to another part of the hospital, probably in the new emergency or ICU area.
That will give me great joy to know that a patient has had some contact with God and they are healed. And that's the joy, the great joy of being a chaplain. I just love it. I think I was called to be a chaplain, and I do this every day, so I like it very much. I am in the trauma room right now. I received a page to come to the trauma room, and I'm often down here a lot because this is one of the roles of the chaplain, is to come down and see about the patients while they are in trauma. During trauma, after the doctors are finished with all they have to do, then I have the opportunity to talk to the patient or to nurture the patient, to show compassion to the patient, to serve a role as a parent or a loved one until their actual family arrives. And then I can help them and make life easier for them while they're here until their family actually arrives. You know, I never dreamed of being a chaplain. I never prayed to be a chaplain. I never thought about being a chaplain. One day the Lord called me to seminary. And as I was going to seminary, there was a class called CPE. And I had to take that class. And I became a part of the chaplaincy class here at Sinai-Grace. And so I've been here ever since. God is good. And he will do exactly what he says. And the other part is that you don't know the plans that God has for your life sometimes.
Well, I imagine my career started when I was very young. My father was a pastor, a minister, and my mother was a nurse. And my father used to take me and my siblings with him on visits to the shut-ins, people who were homebound, hospital visits, and we would sing for them. And I watched my father treat everybody with deep respect, with honesty, with a sense of humor, with such kindness. And at that point, it didn't occur to me that I could become a pastor or a chaplain, because in those days, in my tradition, women weren't allowed to do that. But I remember those days. I went into education and was a first grade teacher for many years. And when we moved here and I started looking at a possible new career, somehow I found myself in a unit of clinical pastoral education, and that's where this career began. I love it. I find that the things that I can do make a difference in people's lives. Sometimes a critical difference when people are making big decisions, life or death decisions even. Sometimes how they're going to cope or whether they can cope. Sometimes the difference between feeling hopeless and having some hope for the future. I find that people are able to sleep better. They calm down. When they're comforted, they have a sense that they can get through the rest of the day. They can get through other things too.
Came up here as a third-year medical student from Kentucky, and I've been here for 6 years.
Wow.
So it's been a
You
while. It's yeah. You know, I was raised here, I guess, in a
yeah.
way, medical life at least.
Okay.
What about you?
That's good. Actually, I live in this neighborhood, and I've been a chaplain for 33 years.
Okay.
And I'm usually here in the afternoon shift. Doris Montgomery's here, day shift.
Okay.
So respond to traumas and explorations, family support, things. Mm-hmm.
I've long wondered this. Like, what's the most difficult situation for you guys? I know it's a loaded question.
I think when people feel like they can't go on, you know, they've lost someone that's so significant, like the grandparent or the father or the mother in the family, and they just feel totally hopeless, and you know, can't fix it.
So it's not so much patient-wise, it's loved one support.
Here it's more that, you know, patient-wise it's similar when people are really seriously depressed and have every reason to be depressed, multiple factors, and feeling helpless.
And from our standpoint, when we talk to the patient's families, is there anything we can do to make that easier?
Actually, I've seen really good examples of doctors talking to patients. Just be as honest and genuine as you can, and then we can help out.
Any easy way to break the news, or just
No.
pretty straightforward?
Straightforward, being honest, saying, I am so sorry. We tried everything we could, you know, giving people a sense that you really care, that you did everything within your power, and unfortunately, you know. And then staying there and listening sometimes, just listening for a time. I know you don't have a lot of time because you're in and out a lot.
Yeah.
But, you know, asking if you have any questions, let them know that the social worker, the chaplain are here to support them.
Where we end up is so important that we can't take chances in life. We got to make the right choices. We got to do the right thing. And when we humble ourselves and when we sacrifice, on the other side of that temptation, God has so much planned for us. So much. And all the things that we want in life, He's got them all planned for us. If we make the right choices, if we consider our destiny, where He wants us to go. He has it all planned out, and we don't have to figure it out. We don't have to fake it. We just have to follow His instructions and do what He says. God is awesome.
If you talk to your patient and you listen to them, they think you're the best person in the world. And it's honest to God, it's just normal human characteristics just to listen and to not to act that you care, but you intrinsically care.
That's true.
And they can tell.
That's true.
And that's probably why when I'm telling this mom that their loved one has died, and they're grieving, and I'm sitting with them, and you know I call for you. I want you there with them, because unfortunately I can't stay there with them for the next hour. Unfortunately, I have to go see my next trauma patient and go to operate, and that's how you help us so much, because you give them comfort. You give them the power of the Lord at the time of a crisis. The one person you want more than anyone is the Lord. You want Him there. if anything, for the faith, for the belief. And that's why I tell them, go to the chapel. To me, every day I walk in this hospital, I go to the chapel. I thank God. I don't ask Him for anything. I thank Him that I'm alive, that I kissed my husband and my children, and they were all breathing when I left. That's what I'm appreciative of. And that's what you want to do. My kids know my job is to let those kids go home to their parents. So my kids understand that mom's not home for nights or days at a time. Mom wants those kids to be home like I'm home with them. But I found it was so important to have education. I have always wanted to become a doctor ever since I was in first grade. I took first aid in first grade. I knew this is what God wanted me to do.
So this is the trauma room, and when people are in really, really critical condition, they need life-saving equipment and people who are professionals and clinically trained to take care of them. They're here, and their lives can be saved. And what chaplains do, we're on call and available for those patients, for the staff, mostly for their families, while they're waiting and wondering if they're going to come out okay, whether things will go on the way they want. So it's a very, very tense and critical time oftentimes. We have wonderful staff that work together like a team to focus on saving lives.
At Sinai-Grace, we actually try as physicians to help children that are making bad choices. We have high school kids that are from different areas. They come and we show them mock exams of what it's like to enter a trauma code. When someone gets shot and they're dying, you got to be honest with the family. You got to tell them, unfortunately, your child's been shot, and you're going to do everything you can with God's help to save their life. But sometimes it doesn't work. And I go, God makes that decision, not me. And all you can do, I can tell you, is myself and the team are going to do everything in our power to save them, to help them. It doesn't matter how they ended up this, what they did, if they have insurance. Some people are so concerned that they don't have insurance, so we're not going to treat them. We don't even know that, I always tell them. We just treat the patient. And I think honesty, because if your family trusts you, no matter what the outcome is, they will be so happy with you. Because it's based on honesty. You are going to take their child and operate on them. And they have to believe in you that you're doing everything you can.
Now I'm in ICU, and I'm going to be leaving here to go to one of the units to see a patient who left a voice message saying that she really wanted someone to come and be with her and listen to her. So we'll be going there next.
Now we're on 5 East. We're on a nursing unit, and we're going to be seeing a patient who is a victim of a motor vehicle crash. See what his needs might be. It happens that he was one of Dr. Seaman's patients, so he's no doubt had surgery, some broken bones and so on. Oftentimes people their lives are just totally changed after a major injury, and have to adapt to all new circumstances, all new possible conditions that can't do the things they were able to do before. So it affects them deeply, spiritually as well as physically.
Chaplains work very closely with social workers in the emergency department. We help manage the families. Chaplains are there for comforting families, helping people through a difficult time. Social workers offer resources, gather information, and as a team, we help each other out to deal with a lot of very, very difficult situations in family sorrows.
We are now in the viewing room of where we show the bodies of a person who have died. And what death does to me each day, it reminds me of my own mortality, my immortality. How I am to live so that when death does come, I'm ready to meet my Maker. I'm ready to meet God. So this room is for families. As you can see, we have chairs in here for families to sit, and their loved ones would be here, and they can be relaxed and be with their loved ones. And so we try to have what we call a good death. A good death is when that loved one spends as much time as they want to with the person who has died, and they can cry and they can scream and they can do all they want to do within this time frame in this little room with the person that they have died, and we call that a good death. So we're now here in what we call the viewing room, when the body comes after a person has died. Now, chaplain really cares for people. You know, we don't judge people. We go and listen to them intently. We hear what they have to say. We pray with them. We laugh with them. We have conversations, and they tell us what's on their mind, and then we listen again. And so we do a lot of listening. We read to them. You know, we are a patient advocate. We do things for them that perhaps a nurse wouldn't do, a family person wouldn't do, that we are risk takers, and we will take a risk and do what that patient needs to have done in order for them to get all that they're supposed to get while they're here at Sinai-Grace. So that is primarily the role of the chaplain.
People that end up here in my trauma room that are shot and stabbed are making bad choices. They're not bad people, they're making bad choices. Life is about choices. Do the right thing, study hard, don't hang out with losers, and don't do drugs.
Our Father and our God, we are so grateful for how you love us and how you watch over us and how you just take care of us and how you give us chance after chance to get it right. And we are so grateful for how you love us. Lord, our sister Dorothy is in need of your touch, to touch her.
And so pastors, not only do we preach and teach, but we do visit members, whether it's in the hospital or in our offices or in their homes. And so this experience at Sinai-Grace gives me an opportunity to practice and the whole art of listening to people and ministering to people in terms of active listening. And so that's what I'm here for. And it's a little bit different than a chaplain in that I'm only here to visit one time and then move forward, but chaplains are building, say, a little bit more of a relationship with the patients than I would be in the work that I'm doing. So it's a very different type of a ministry altogether, but it's something that any pastor needs to have some equipment to meet the needs of their parishioners. And I'm grateful that Judy's been willing to help me, and Sinai-Grace has been willing to create this context for ministry.
Let's pray. Okay. Dear God, this evening I come before you, and I just lift Miss Perry up into the light of your loving presence. Ask you to surround her with love and peace. Help her to sleep well this night and be well prepared for the surgery tomorrow. Please guide the hands of the surgeons and all of those that are attending to her surgery, that they will have the insight, the knowledge, the wisdom, the gifts and the skills to do their job well, for this to be a successful surgery. Be with her during her recovery and healing process. Allow her to be able to go back to be doing the things that she loves to do and that you've called her to do. Thank you for your promises and for the faith and the word and the trust that you've given her. And I pray for these things and all that you know that she needs in the name of Jesus.
In the name of Jesus. Amen.
Here at Sinai-Grace, we have a lot of victims of trauma. Some of those are violent, some of those are because of motor vehicle crashes or falls, all kinds of incidents, heart attacks, and so on. My job as a chaplain is to find out what their needs might be. If they are able to talk, I listen. Mostly I'm with family members in the trauma area. Spend time because they're anxious and not sure what's going to happen next, and trying to sit with them, sometimes just being there with them. We have a new trauma center now, which is just a joy to work in after really an old facility years ago. And so now we have a place that our neighborhood, our patients deserve, a place that's clean and spacious, and there's room for families to come and spend time with them while they're being treated. We have wonderful doctors and nurses, And we work together as a team with them, with social workers, to find ways to help families through the crisis.